This is Tonight with Tim Modise on Soweto TV, and now we deal with the education situation in Gauteng. Currently, matriculants are sitting for exams whilst parents are running around trying to place their children in schools for next year. 2017 has not necessarily been a good year for the education system in Gauteng, with various cases of violence and abuse being reported at different schools. And we've invited the spokesperson for the Education Department, Steve Mabona, to update us on the registration process. And he's here in the studio to tell us a bit more. Steve, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
So we know that you've gone online now. It's modern technology, and registration for next year opened earlier this year, but you reopened it currently. So what is the situation? What's the latest?
Look, remember when we reopened the system, we wanted to accommodate those parents who might have missed the boat. Remember, we closed on the 12th of June, because we opened in May and closed on the 12th of June to say those who might have missed the boat, let's give them an opportunity to apply, because we don't want next year to be busy with placement. We want to begin with the process of teaching and learning. And definitely we opened on the 1st of November. We are closing tomorrow, midnight, we are closing. So we're saying the system is going very well. We actually registered over 10,000, people already who applied late. So you can sense that if we had not opened the system, probably next year would have been stuck with 10,000 learners that don't have, space. So we simply say those parents that have not applied, they need to utilize this opportunity. Tomorrow is the last day, and we'll be closing the system and then focus on placing, because we still have issues where parents have not been placed, and some, they don't want to be placed at the schools that we are actually giving them, because they want to be placed at these popular schools. We've got about 402 of those schools that everyone wants to go there. But it's impossible for us to can accommodate everyone. Like, for instance, a school that can have capacity of 250, you have 1,500 applications. How do you, make sure that we accommodate everyone?
So the message to the parents is that if you did not apply earlier this year, this is your last chance to place your child at a school, right? And you say 10,000, meaning this round. Earlier, the first round, how many did you register?
About 285,000 applications that we've received, and out of those, we have placed already about 222,000 that we have given, an opportunity to say you will be studying here next year. So there's an outstanding number that we are still placing, but the challenge is that there are those parents that don't want to accept the placement because they want the first choice.
Yeah.
And like as I said, the first choice, if it's full, we can't oversubscribe a school, because now we'll end up not having space for learners to be there.
And what is the procedure to be followed for those who may simply be intimidated by how the system works? What do you need to do because it's deadline day tomorrow?
Look, we just encourage them to interact with us. Those that are struggling, they can call us. We have a toll-free number, 0800 000 789. They will assist them there. If they are not assisted, they can still be referred to the district offices. We know that each and every school that you apply to has a district office. So they can, indicate where the district office. They can visit there and they will be assisted, because we're saying the system will be open, so the district officials are in a position to can assist those that are challenged. And once we close midnight, the system will not take any applications. So which means that the system will be busy with the placement, because the placement is done systematically as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, the schools that parents are running away from, how many are those? You spoke about the most popular schools. Is it a majority of schools that parents are running away from?
Look, it's quite sad, because, we look at the school uniform and think that the school is doing well. We are saying we actually have decided to have a survey, or just check on the schools on how they do, assess them on performance, look at what they're doing, the teacher education, attendance, learner attendance, so that we can then assist parents when they choose, in future, to say, this is the school that I need. Don't base yourself on uniform only or on town. There are schools that are in town, but they are not functional. But because one utilizes transport from the township to town, and then probably they think that the school is doing well.
Yeah.
So all those elements, there's a sense that township schools, there's a reluctancy of parents,
Well,
enrolling them.
let me talk about the situation regarding matriculants who could not write, recently because of the blockade of roads and the Black Monday protest, as well as the taxi strike recently. How have those children or the matriculants been accommodated?
Look, you'll understand that we had a concession, in that Black Monday, that, destabilized us, dearly. And we had to say, let's assist the learners to write, even if they are late. So we had, managed it in the sense that we said, all those that arrive late, even if they are, 2 hours late, they are still being, accommodated. So to an extent that we were trying to avoid learners missing a paper, because if you miss a paper, consequences are dire.
So in other words, the situation was ultimately resolved, and the matriculants were given the opportunity to write.
Including yesterday. I mean, yesterday we can confirm that there's about 20 learners who were redirected. We sent them to different, centers to go and write there. Those that arrived late at schools, they were given an opportunity to then write.
It's been a difficult year in terms of the cases of abuse that were reported, and the most embarrassing one, I must say, that's an extreme situation. 83 learners raped, molested by somebody who's supposed to look after them. What steps are you taking as the department to deal with such cases of abuse?
Look, that was a very bad one, and I guess we took responsibility. We said, look, we failed the parents and the schooling, environment to say, all of us, we should have acted, we should have known, and the security thereof was changed in the sense that all the patrollers need to go through the re-screening, re-vetting, and that process is undergone. Probably we are finalizing the process because we're talking about 6,000 patrollers that are in our schools. Because the other thing, when we brought patrollers in our schooling environment, we were, shortchanged, criminal, behavior coming in our system. We have smart boards, we have equipments that probably community has an interest in, criminals. And we could not do without security or some sense of security thereof. Though the patrollers, they are volunteers coming from CPF environment, trained a bit, on security, but they're not security officers. So we said, let's enhance that part, but then take that responsibility and give it to community safety. They must manage the process of appointing those patrollers.
Is that what's going to happen now, going forward?
Yes. So from the entry point up until they are brought into our school, we know that they're going to manage that process for us, so that we don't find ourselves wanting in terms of not knowing who these people are, the background check, are we sure that they have not, abused or raped anyone. So on that score, we said the other thing, learners must be comfortable to can report to the live, orientation teachers, appointed them to say they will be the entry point. If they want to complain, they go to them, say, these are the things that are happening. Because we have a sense that if you have all teachers, some might not take it serious. So we're going to focus on live orientation teachers, upskill them, work with, necessary stakeholders like Teddy Bear, empower our life orientation teachers so that they can then assist us.
Steve Mabona, thank you very much for paying us a visit and being a guest on the show.
Thank you very much.
And of course, you'll be a regular guest on the program. There are many issues that we will be discussing with the Department of Education going forward. And we trust that tonight you enjoyed our return to the screens. Tonight with Tim Modise will be coming to you every Thursday night, 8:30. And good night to you. Thanks for joining us.